So let's talk a little bit about having raised beds in your garden. So not everybody has the capability of gardening on their hands and knees, and unfortunately my back issues are giving me problems, and it's just more enjoyable to harvest things when you don't have to be on your hands and knees bending over. So I purchased these steel 3 foot by 4 foot by 12-inch raised garden beds from a local home store here, but I think that they also sell them at Aldi's. So they started off at $40 and then they went down to $30 recently, and then they were very hard to find. So I purchased 3 initially, and then at the last minute purchased 3 more, ordered online. So then I have 3 more at some point. But because I want them to be off the ground, I had my husband build me some platforms for them. As you can see, they're from pressure treated lumber. Unfortunately, some of the expensive pressure treated lumber is cracking, what really sucks. So I'll take you over to one that is not covered by a raised bed yet so you can see it. So here's the frame. It's fairly simple but very secure. And on the top, he stapled 1/4 inch like poultry netting. Fairly inexpensive. We bought a roll of it for $30. We purposely chose 36 inches so that we wouldn't need to do any cutting. And I have enough to do at least six raised beds with that $30. So what we do after that is, once the steel bed is put together, I use just cheap landscape fabric. I bought it 36 inches wide, again, so I didn't have to do any cutting. I will lay that evenly in the bottom, and then I get cardboard. So basically I use whatever I have laying around, which is generally Amazon boxes, so shh. Sometimes I have to hide them, but we're not going to tell anybody that. This time I actually have a futon box, and I'm going to cut that apart quite aggressively, get out some frustration, and tear it into pieces, and I'll come back and let you know what that looks like. So now I have the cardboard box fairly destroyed and have filled the raised bed with cardboard. So what the cardboard does is it holds moisture. Raised beds are notorious for drying out really quickly. Also, you don't have the nutrient buildup that you do when you plant things in the soil. You know, the soil can just naturally build itself up as things compost in there, and then you can add things and whatever. So the cardboard helps keep moisture, and it helps, dirt from not escaping. So I put that on the bottom layer, and then I start loading in whatever it is I'm going to fill my raised beds with. So I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but if you have, you might remember that I really had some failed experiments with buckets. Yeah, very sad. Look at all of them lined up like a little army. So I have all of this soil from kind of pathetically attempting to grow things in the buckets. I think the only thing that really grew well were the beans. But other than that, everything else was pretty much a fail. Even potatoes. The potatoes were in bigger buckets. So I'm actually going to repurpose that soil, and I'm going to throw all of that down in the bottom layer, just because it might be stripped of its nutrients, because I did grow things in this soil before, and I'm still not very good at gardening. Some people might disagree with that, but I don't think I'm very good at it yet, so I really have no idea if this stuff is good for my plants or not. So I'll throw that in, and then I'll start layering other things. So I do have a compost pile. I don't know if I want to put this on a video because it's kind of ugly, but if you want to see it, I'll let you see it. There's my beautiful peach tree in bloom. So back here, which my kids and my husband absolutely hate, is my compost pile. I think I have a video on YouTube about building that. If I don't, I should put it up because I think it's an interesting repurposing of pallets and stuff. So the right side is the organic matter. I used a lot of the compost on the bottom for building up my beds, my actual soil beds, not raised ones. And then the left-hand side, a beautiful robin there. The left-hand side is all of the grass clippings that my son puts in there when he mows the grass. And we don't put chemicals on our lawn, as you can see from all of the beautiful dandelions, which are useful plants, by the way. And then I'll put some of that in the bed as well. So I'll put a layer of the bucket stuff, then I'll put some of those green grass clippings, and then I will add more bags of composted manure. I live in the suburbs. I can't have animals here, which kind of makes me sad. But I get bags of composted manure and mushroom compost. That's fantastic. So I'll mix all of that up, and then we'll start planting some seeds. So let's look at a bed I've already done. This bed has some leeks, some broccoli. I think it's almost all broccoli. I think I lost my cauliflower, unfortunately, which is sad. I put them in my greenhouse here, and then I went away on vacation in March, and we got a really bad cold snap, and everything I put in there died. I lost probably 24 tomato plants that were just enormous and huge, and I don't want to cry about it, so I'm just going to stop talking about it. So here is a bed. Now I know these broccoli are kind of close together. I get that. But we'll see how it goes. This might be another fail. So what I'm actually going to do is, once I have some time, I will fill in this bed with some grass clippings just to kind of keep the moisture in the soil. And I highly recommend that, I think using grass clipping is better than using any kind of mulch. So those are my raised beds. In one of them, I'm going to plant green beans because we eat a lot of those. And in another one, I'm going to do strawberries because I am not having a lot of success. Actually, the plants are going everywhere. They're just like reproducing like bunny rabbits. And so I want to keep them contained. So best of luck with your raised beds.